Right. So today we're going to dive into something pretty cool.
Yeah.
What makes a great basketball player.
Ooh.
But we're going beyond just like crazy athleticism,
Yeah.
those amazing skills you see.
Yeah.
We're really going to try to get at the heart of it.
Awesome.
And
Look forward to this.
for this one, we've got a real treat for you guys.
Okay.
We're going to be drawing insights from a conversation between LeBron James and J.J. Redick,
Oh, wow.
2 NBA champs.
Right.
They had this really cool conversation on their podcast, Mind the Game.
Okay.
And they were just kind of like kicking back, talking about.
Or like over wine.
Yeah, like over a glass of wine.
Yes.
Just chatting about the path to greatness in basketball.
Laid back.
It's a really cool perspective.
Yeah.
One of the first things they both agreed on was that just insane talent alone doesn't cut it.
Right.
It's not enough to be a great player.
There's got to be more. I mean, you see that all the time.
Definitely.
So much talent.
Yeah. They each shared 3 qualities that they think contribute to a player's greatness.
Okay.
LeBron starts things off by emphasizing the importance of
LeBron always has good advice.
knowing the history of the game.
Interesting.
And he's not just talking about being able to rattle off stats or, knowing all the famous players' names. It's more about understanding like how the game has evolved.
Yeah.
Respecting the players who came before you.
Right.
Understanding the challenges that those who came before you had to face. Talks about Bill Russell and Oscar Robertson.
Oh, wow.
All the things that they had to overcome to achieve what they did.
It gives you perspective, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's about understanding different playing styles.
Okay.
How tactics have changed over time.
Yeah.
And kind of seeing yourself as part of something bigger.
It's like a lineage of the sport.
Yeah, exactly. So knowing the history kind of gives you that context and a deeper understanding.
Yeah, it's not just trivia.
Right.
It's like a strategic advantage almost.
Exactly.
Interesting.
His second quality is discipline and sacrifice.
That's huge.
Yeah, and he believes that reaching that elite level demands a crazy amount of dedication. And sometimes that means even missing out on time with family and friends.
Wow. So tough.
He shares a story
really?
about how his commitment to training meant sacrificing those typical college experiences that a lot of his buddies were having.
Oh, man.
Going to parties, hanging out, just kind of enjoying that time.
Right.
But he was so focused on honing his craft.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah. So it's really interesting to hear him talk about that.
Yeah.
So it's basically like saying there's a cost to greatness.
Right.
And it's not always...
There's always a trade-off.
Easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then his third quality might seem kind of obvious.
Right.
Genuine love for the game.
Right.
But he dives a little deeper than that.
Okay. I'm interested.
It got to be more than just enjoying the wins, right?
Yeah, totally.
He challenges listeners to ask themselves if they genuinely love the whole process.
Okay.
Including those grueling practices.
Or the grind.
The constant pressure to improve.
Yeah. It's about enjoying the whole process.
Finding joy in the grind.
Yeah.
Not just the glory.
It's the journey, not the destination.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So LeBron is all about understanding the game's past, putting in the work, and loving the entire journey.
Right.
Not just the destination.
Love that.
Now, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about J.J. Redick's perspective.
Right.
His first quality that he brings up
is
something he calls competitive stamina.
Competitive stamina.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
What is that all about?
Yeah. What is that?
He's talking about being able to consistently perform at a high level.
Okay.
Day after day, season after season.
Right.
Pushing through fatigue. Maintaining that intensity even when things get tough.
Okay.
He actually uses an example of LeBron's incredible fourth quarter performance against the Clippers.
Oh, wow.
To illustrate this point.
Okay.
He was clearly exhausted, but he never let up.
Right.
He just kept pushing.
Wow. So it's that mental and physical toughness
Yeah.
that allows players to keep going when others might falter.
Exactly.
Do you think that's something you're born with, or can you develop it?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Over time.
I think it might be a combination of both.
Yeah, probably.
But JJ definitely believes that it's a key factor in separating good players from great ones.
Makes sense.
His second quality echoes LeBron's emphasis on discipline. He calls it dedication over distraction.
dedication over distraction.
Yeah.
All right. So it's about
like staying focused on your goals.
Staying focused.
And tuning out the noise.
Right. Tuning out all that noise.
Yeah.
All those distractions.
Right.
And he even admits that this level of dedication can sometimes feel selfish.
Oh, interesting.
Which I thought was kind of an honest and insightful thing to share. Yeah. He talks about his own struggles.
Well, really?
With balancing personal life and the demands of being a professional athlete.
Right.
But ultimately, it's about making that conscious choice to prioritize your goals and put in the work.
That makes sense.
And then his third quality is something that basketball fans often talk about.
All right. Basketball IQ.
Oh, yeah.
That's the big one.
That almost magical ability to read the game, make smart decisions.
Yeah. And seemingly be one step ahead.
Yeah, always a step ahead.
Of everyone else.
Right.
It's like they can see the future.
Yeah, like a sixth sense almost.
Right. It's amazing. JJ actually compares players with high basketball IQ to supercomputers.
Supercomputer?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because of how quickly they process information on the court.
They're just taking it all in and processing it so fast.
Yeah, they're just seeing things that other players don't see.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He specifically mentions guys like Nikola Jokic, James Harden, and of course LeBron, prime examples.
Yeah, they're like the prototypes for that.
But he also brings up a really fascinating question.
Oh, does he?
Can basketball IQ be learned?
Ooh.
Or are you just born with it?
That's a great question.
It's a really interesting debate.
Yeah, because you see those players who just seem to have that natural instinct for the game, like they were
born with a basketball in their hands.
Like they just get it.
Yeah.
But then you also see players who...
You see others who maybe they develop it over time through practice and experience, and they get better at decision making.
Yeah. Their decision-making improves.
Yeah.
Their court awareness gets better.
Yeah.
So maybe it is something
you can train it.
You can develop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's where the conversation gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because LeBron and JJ have different perspectives on this.
Oh, do they?
LeBron actually believes that he was born with a high sports IQ.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
He talks about how...
Didn't he say he was visualizing plays?
Yeah, he was visualizing plays in his head.
In his head as a kid.
As a kid, before he even hit high school.
Like before high school?
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild.
He was able to process information quickly. And see plays unfold.
Wow.
Before they even happen.
That's incredible.
Even at a young age.
Okay. So he's saying he was born with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But does that mean that players who weren't born with that innate ability...
That other players are just...
Are out of luck.
Out of luck.
Well, I guess that's what we'll have to find out.
Yeah.
This is getting good.
Let's hear what JJ has to say.
Yeah.
Well, JJ actually thinks that while some people might be, you know, naturally predisposed to it, he thinks you can develop basketball IQ through like dedicated study and experience.
Oh, interesting.
He uses himself as an example.
Okay.
He talks about how, you know, early in his career, he was a volume shooter.
Yeah.
But he made a conscious effort to adjust his game and focus on like coming off screens over his left shoulder for like better catch and shoot opportunities.
So he was really thinking about how to make himself a more effective player.
Yeah. And it just shows that he was constantly learning and trying to evolve his game.
Yeah. And those subtle adjustments, you know, driven by a deeper understanding of the game.
Right.
I mean, they can make a huge difference.
Huge. Yeah.
It's not always about
the flashy,
the highlight reel plays.
Right.
It's about
the little things.
Those little things that add up over time.
Oh, yeah. The details make a big difference.
Now, how much of that do you think comes from coaching?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like, can a good coach really help players develop?
I think so, for sure.
That's strategic thinking.
Yeah. Both LeBron and JJ actually give shout-outs to the coaches who help them along the way.
Yeah. So it's like having that mentor.
Yeah, it's like having a guide.
Who can kind of unlock your potential. And teach you how to...
Yeah, they can help you.
Think strategically on the court.
To see the game in a different way.
Right.
Yeah.
Talent's important.
Talent, it's about nurturing that talent.
But it needs to be...
guiding it.
Nurtured and guided.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
So LeBron brings up something that I know a lot of fans have strong opinions about.
All right, what is it?
That whole 2-for-1 strategy.
Oh, the 2-for-1?
At the end of quarters.
Yeah, at the end of quarters, yeah. You know?
Yeah, I know what you're talking.
That classic force a quick shot.
Yeah, try to get an extra possession.
To try and get an extra possession.
Right. Yeah. Some coaches swear by it.
Right.
But it can backfire.
Some coaches swear by it, but LeBron's not a fan.
Yeah, LeBron's not a fan.
He doesn't like it.
He doesn't like it.
He thinks it disrupts the flow of the game and sometimes leads to...
Well, you end up taking a bad...
rush low percentage shots.
Right.
Yeah.
He thinks it can be more beneficial to just maintain that momentum and get a good look.
Right.
Even if it means
only...
making one shot.
One shot, yeah.
So it's about making smart decisions based on the situation.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about quality.
Not just blindly following a formula.
Over quantity. Yeah, I like that.
So sometimes it's better to prioritize. Sometimes
you got to be smart about it.
When it comes to shot selection.
Not just chucking up shots.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's where basketball IQ
right there, you got
comes in again.
Yeah.
It's about reading the game, understanding those nuances of each possession.
A feel thing.
Yeah.
It's like an art.
And making the best decision for your team in that moment.
Okay, cool.
Speaking of game changers, though.
Okay.
LeBron also has some interesting things to say about Steph Curry.
Oh, Steph Curry.
And his impact on the NBA. Yeah, he's changed the game.
Steph Curry, the three-point king.
Right.
I mean,
unbelievable shoot.
His shooting has definitely changed the way the game is played.
He's revolutionized it.
Both LeBron and JJ actually compare Curry's influence to legends like Michael Jordan and Allen Iverson.
Wow, that's high praise.
They believe he's fundamentally
up there.
Transformed the NBA with his mastery of the three-point shot.
The three-point shot.
I mean, it's amazing how one player's skill set can have such a ripple effect on an entire sport.
Like a butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this kind of leads into...
It leads to a really interesting discussion.
A discussion about how...
the
NBA has evolved.
The NBA has evolved in recent years.
It's a different game now.
They talk about how
it used to be.
The game has become much more focused.
On what they call target basketball.
Target basketball.
Yeah.
What's that?
It sounds kind of intense.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
It's all about
strategically
exploiting mismatches.
Okay.
On each possession.
Okay.
So teams are constantly looking for ways to create those advantageous situations.
To get an edge.
Yeah, to get an edge by targeting specific players.
So it's like a chess match.
Or matchups.
Almost.
Yeah, like a chess match on the court.
Yeah, where every move is calculated to gain an advantage.
Where every move is calculated to gain an advantage.
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, and this requires...
So this is where...
a different kind of basketball IQ.
Basketball IQ comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just about...
Well, it's not just about
your individual skills and reading the defense.
It's about understanding.
It's about understanding the strengths and weaknesses of everyone on the court.
Everybody on the court.
Both your teammates and your opponents.
Yeah, your teammates and your opponents.
So players really need to have...
So it's like you got to have
a deep understanding of the game.
And be able to adapt.
And to be able to adapt to different situations.
From the fly.
Right.
Yeah.
And to illustrate this point, JJ actually brings up Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum, okay.
Who he believes has really improved his basketball IQ over time.
Interesting.
Now, Tatum's definitely become a star player in the NBA.
Yeah, for sure.
But what specific examples does JJ use?
Yeah, what does he use?
To kind of highlight...
To highlight his growth.
His growth.
Yeah.
He analyzes Tatum's performance.
Okay.
In the NBA Finals.
All right.
Against the Golden State Warriors.
The Warriors. Tough matchup.
Right. Yeah. Remember when we watched those clips where Tatum...
Oh, yeah, I remember.
...was able to avoid getting the Warriors' defense into rotation.
He was making quicker reads.
He was making quicker reads, anticipating their moves, and making smart decisions.
Instead of forcing things.
Yeah. So he's leveled up his game by learning how to read the defense.
He's seeing the floor better.
And exploit their weaknesses.
Right.
Yeah, he's clearly put in the work to develop his understanding of the game.
You can tell.
And it shows in his decision-making on the court.
It's paying off.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, LeBron brings up something.
Oh, really?
That really frustrates him as a player.
Oh, I'm curious.
when guys mess up plays out of timeouts.
Oh, man.
Out of the timeout.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. It's got to be annoying.
How annoying that must be. You know?
Like you have a chance
to draw up a play.
Get
everybody on the same page.
And
then somebody messes it up.
And then someone forgets their assignment or makes a bad decision.
Yeah. I can see why that would frustrate him.
You just had a chance to strategize.
Yeah, you just talked about it.
And then mental errors can still happen.
It's like, come on, guys.
Right. You know, stress is...
The importance of focus.
Focus is key.
Communication.
Yeah.
Attention to detail.
Yeah, the little things.
It's about executing that game plan.
Right.
Understanding the play call.
Got to know the play.
And being in sync.
And be on the same page.
With your teammates.
Yeah, for sure.
So even though basketball is a fast-paced...
dynamic
game.
Those mental lapses.
Those little mental lapses.
Can really hurt you. Can have a big impact on the outcome.
It's crazy how those little things can make such a big difference.
And it highlights how important the mental aspect of the game is.
The mental game is huge.
Right. It's not just about physical skills. It's
about being mentally sharp.
Yeah.
Focused and in the moment.
Yeah,
for sure.
It makes you wonder.
How
do those top players
maintain
that level of focus? Under such intense pressure. Yeah. It's a good question. I mean, it's incredible what they're able to do.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to think that even after a timeout, you know, when you've had a chance to like strategize and talk things through, mental errors can still happen.
Yeah. I mean, it just shows you how crucial focus is.
Right.
Like every possession counts, whether it's, you know, early in the game or in the final seconds.
Right.
That level of focus and attention to detail.
It's what separates.
That's what separates the good from the great.
The good from the great.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that even the best players are human.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They're going to make mistakes.
We're going to have those lapses.
But it makes you realize that they must be constantly working.
Or always working.
On those mental skills.
On the mental game.
Striving for that, like, laser focus.
Yeah. Trying to minimize those errors.
Right.
Yeah.
And if we connect this...
And if you think about...
to the bigger picture.
How the NBA has become so strategic.
Right.
These teams are, like, constantly looking for any edge they can get.
Right.
Every possession.
Yeah.
Every matchup is a potential opportunity.
It's like the game has become even more complex.
Oh, yeah.
And demanding.
More than ever.
And players need to be able to process information and make decisions so fast.
You got to be able to think on your feet.
Right.
You know?
It's incredible.
And that's why this conversation between LeBron and JJ is so valuable.
Yeah.
It gives us a glimpse
it's like
into the minds of champion.
A backstage pass to the world of elite basketball.
Yeah, and the qualities that make them stand out.
And now
when we watch games.
Raw talent or athleticism.
Right.
It's about...
You can look for dedication, mental toughness.
Those subtle signs.
And a deep understanding.
Of basketball IQ in action.
Of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you start to appreciate.
You realize.
What it takes to reach.
It's not just about.
That level of excellence.
The highlight reels.
Right. It's about.
It's not just about.
Countless hours.
Like the highlight reels.
The mental preparation.
It's about all that work.
And that constant drive.
Behind the scenes.
To improve.
The mental preparation. Yeah. And the constant drive to improve. And I think.
And that's what makes.
That's what makes this deep dive so interesting.
So special.
Yeah.
It's not just about.
It's not just about like.
Passively listening
to information.
It's about actively
engaging with the game.
And
seeing it. From a new perspective. So the next time
you're watching a game. Right.
Pay attention.
Pay attention to the details.
Those details.
Who's making
those smart cuts? Who's anticipating the next pass?
Who's anticipating?
Who's communicating effectively on defense?
Yeah, who's talking?
Right.
Who's directing traffic?
It's about looking beyond those flashy plays.
Yeah.
And appreciating. The strategic thinking.
Toughness.
And the mental toughness.
That goes into every possession.
Yeah. Yeah, you might be surprised at what you start to notice.
You might learn something.
Right.
You know?
And by observing and analyzing the game.
Yeah.
At a deeper level. You might even
start to develop.
Your own
basketball IQ.
Right. There you go.
It's like LeBron and JJ.
They've given us.
Have shared their secrets to success.
The keys to the kingdom.
Right.
Yeah.
And now it's up to us to apply those lessons.
Take what you've learned.
And see the game.
And apply it.
With a whole new level of understanding and appreciation.
Exactly.
So the next time you hear someone say.
Next time you hear somebody say.
Redick gets it.
How?
He just gets it.
About a player.
About a player.
You'll have a better idea.
You'll know.
Of what it really means.
It means.
It's about more than just talent. It's about basketball IQ.
It's about
dedication. And that unwavering passion.
And love for the game.
For the game.